Hi, this is Brian McHenry of McHenry Software. We're going to walk through a few of the additions and enhancements that we've done with the new version 1.5 that we're releasing this week. And we expect to have another interim update probably in another week as we add more demos and help files and things like that. One of the first things that we are moving towards is that all our functions will be handled by the graphics. Right now you're seeing a sample of the program being run on a cloud scan with a image drape. And we also can bring in DXF files. They can all be sandwiched together, etc. We'll probably have a demo of that up later this week, if not in the next few days. Currently, what we're going to do here is we're just going to bring in a cloud scan, then bring in an image map, and then show how you can swap out the vehicles, etc. once you're in the project. So let's begin. First thing we do is we go to Project, New Project. We're just going to call this Demo Cloud Scan. We're going to just go through the defaults here because one of the things we're going to show you is that you can do these all from the graphics. So now it basically runs that sample first graphics. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to bring in a point cloud. Click on the point cloud. And currently it supports the XYZ format. You export that, merge your cloud files, and then export in XYZ. We set the increment value of 1. We can make it smaller, but for right now we'll just make 1. And here it brings in the cloud file. The first time you'll notice it takes maybe a minute, maybe a little less. This is actual real time. I'm not increasing the speed. If we get to something that takes a while, I will probably increase the speed just because it still will only take a minute or so. On larger files, this is an 800 megabyte file. As you get larger, it may take a little bit longer, but still we're less than half a minute right now. Now this export was in all grayscale, as you can see, and of course you notice that because we're XYZ, we're not really paying attention to the buildings, etc. So the next thing we would do in the cloud file is let's go ahead and set a polygon for the area, the surface that we're interested in. So we just click on this scan to get the surface that we want. And of course, some will be more dramatic than this. This is just a sample someone had sent us. Now we say OK, and you notice that it's trimmed. See, it's trimmed the surface. The next thing we will do is let's bring in a bitmap over it. And we'll have better samples for this later, but for right now, we have what that was called the test intersection. And it brings it in around 500. We have to scale it, so we need to change it, scale it, and then merge them. One of the things you notice, if this is the width here, you see how that width is much bigger, so let's just put it at a width of 300. And then let's move it up to sync. So it's probably about 100. Maybe 75. Oh, it's more than 100. I went the wrong way. You see our road is still a little bit wide, and we'll probably have a better scaling factor on this. If those of you familiar with our image, you know that we normally have you pick 2 points and then it automatically scales it. We're going to be adding that to this soon. Right now you notice it's a little big, so let's put this at about 250. See if that's the right scale. Yeah, that looks more like it. Guess I should have figured out the scale before. Now you can turn off, if you say OK, you can turn off the point cloud to see how it's starting to get to about the proper scale. Let's move this up again. Let's go back to the bitmap, move it up. Now let's go back and look at it again. It's approximately the proper scale. So now the next question is we can go and move our vehicles onto it. You see that the vehicles are down over here. Now you can either move the whole image there and the cloud scan, or you sync them and then move your vehicles. Click on the down here in the lower left corner, and it gives you for changing the location of the vehicles. And so the first thing we'll probably do is move him to the right, and then move him up. And let's just say at about 130. Oh, let's make it 160. Same for this other one. We click on the other vehicle, make him about 160. And now we have approximately. Let's go ahead and just see what it looks like when you run. You can flatten it to look at them if you want, but it's just as easy to just run the simulation because it's very quick. See, now we have the simulation, and they don't even hit each other. So let's go ahead and make them hit each other. So we're going to move him back. Go back to the image and move him back. Oops, not that way. See if he hits it now. There we go. So now we can just hit the play. Now the question is, we had talked about how, well, these aren't the vehicles that we wanted. How do we change them to the proper vehicles? Two things. When you click on the vehicle, it brings up to the right here the ability to manually change positions. You can edit the initial positions. That's another way. In addition to pressing the initial positions button down here, you also have here where you can go, brings you up there. But the other thing that you can do is you click on the choose model for here, and we can either change the graphics model and then also change the dimension spec. So let's just say for dimensions, we've decided that we had a vehicle that's a, for example, a Lumina. So we go down and we grab, let's say it's a 96 Lumina, 4-door. So we grab the specs, and we say okay, and of course I mentioned about putting in occupant and weight, but this is just a sample. So again, that was vehicle 1, which we click here. The other thing we want to do is let's change the vehicle. Vehicle 1, we go change the graphics model. We go Chevy Lumina. Okay. And of course, let's say the car happened to be red. We could go here and change. See the main colors here? You click on the vehicle again. Click on the vehicle. Click on the color, and let's just make it red. Now we have a red vehicle. Now we go to vehicle 2. Vehicle 2, we'll make vehicle 2 maybe a pickup truck. So specs, we first go into, let's go to Chevy, pickups. You notice I got C10s, and putting up in the search keys a quick way to bring up the different vehicles, etc. So let's just go with a full-size pickup. Go with a regular bed. Step side pickup, why not? So bring in the step side, you should put in your occupants and weights, but again, and then you set here your type. So if you have a rollover, you want to set this because that's how it sets the structure, pickup truck. Now here's our pickup truck. Of course, it's not an image of a pickup truck. So we go back and we go to vehicle 2, change graphics model, and we go to Chevy full-size pickup truck. Now, when you run this, it will rescale it, or sometimes you may have to restart the graphics just to, because let's go ahead and exit. We'll have that rescale soon, but then when you restart it, see it scales it to the size that you've set, and now when we run them, now one of the things I noticed, or you may have noticed in this, is that there's still some three-dimensional things which we will be having the buildings, etc., show in our next update, probably in the next month to 2 months. And so that's easy to handle, is all you really have to do there is go back to your cloud. And then that's a question of where, you see here's all the vertical things here. Let's go ahead and edit. Just grab one. And let's just move him outside of that. Let's move him outside here so we don't see the verticals. And I think the same for this one. And you just click on it, and then when it turns color, you can grab it and move it. And then you say OK. And you see if we go back down to our, got most of them, we can get rid of more. But again, this is how we bring in cloud surfaces and do bitmap overlays. If you had a DXF with some evidence, let's say there were tire marks, etc., you can bring that in, scale it, and also, well, normally DXFs are scaled, but you can bring it in and merge it with these two. One other item to note is that you can actually turn off the cloud, and so now you're just looking at the actual bitmap. And this is as a intermediary until we get the full cloud scans coming in. Another thing to notice is, okay, we exit, and when you exit, it saves that cloud file in the format for the three-dimensional simulation. When you restart, you notice how much quicker it loads because it saves it in a format, proprietary format, to be able to load it quicker. One additional thing which I noticed in here is we have different colors for the tire tracks, and I just wanted to make sure that you realize here now with the buttons here, we have the polygon friction zones that you can add and move around. We have a demo that shows how that's done. We've actually changed the way that the points can be moved. I think you'll find it much more easier, but very similar to the video that you'll see. Tracking camera, same, it's been improved. And then for tire marks, you also can change. Of course, this is right now, we changed it to a red vehicle. We forgot to change the tire marks. So if we just click on tire marks, we know, click on the vehicle, it tells you it's vehicle 1. We go to vehicle 1. And notice that it's got blue, but let's go ahead. Why not make it red? Of course, you probably might make it black. And then for rolling, let's make that a light red. So now you see we have the colors that match the vehicles. Well, I hope that's given you a quick introduction to a couple of the additional enhancements. We will be adding more videos soon. Thank you for your interest in McHenry Software.